there is interesting, and I think I mentioned this in the book. I guess it was with one of the girls that Perry was dealing with that night at the confrontation. The story about the girl who came from the South to go to college, and the family only had enough money for her to come for one semester. Yeah, and they told her that you marry a doctor or come back and be a sharecropper. That's absolutely true. That's a true story.
My grandmother, like my grandmother was a sharecropper, and I remember when we was reading that book, me and my sister were laughing because she used to always tell my brother that my brother is about my complexion, my sister's dark skin, and he would always tell my sister and my brother, make sure you find somebody light, damn near white, because you want your kids to look a certain way. And we used to be like, as far as I was concerned, it didn't matter as long as I ain't find anybody, as long as she used to say, just don't bring home an African and you're going to be okay. But she was serious about that.
Oh yeah, that mentality.
Like that was,
insisted.
and then my mother
right.
used to be like, that's just your grandma's just old, like really old, so don't worry about it,
My mother was
whatever.
like that too. I actually dated an African Nigerian, and he was probably as black as that there. And I brought him to meet my family, and my grandmother was like this the whole time.
Yeah, my
She
father
didn't even
was
speak to him.
when I
She
dated a
did
guy
not
in
speak to
Alabama.
him. She just looked at him like this the whole time. And of course made him feel uncomfortable, but everybody else was like, don't pay her any attention. But that's how she was. And she used to say she didn't like colored people.
Yeah, my mother she did color too.
You know, my grandmother is my complexion, maybe a shade lighter, but my grandfather is about your complexion. He's half Mexican and half black. And him and another white man founded a church. So the church that she belongs to is 90% white. So she's got that embedded in her head. And then my aunts and everybody are fair skinned. There are maybe 3 people in my close family that are dark, and everybody else is my shade in light. So she was just, and I mean, he was black. I mean, if you cut the lights out, you wouldn't see him unless he smiled. And she really had a problem with that. She was the whole time.
Wow. Like me and my daddy still aren't that close because the guy that I dated all through college, he was a Kappa, so that was the only good thing. He was a Kappa. He was dark because he was from Alabama. His whole family was from Alabama. Me and my dad still, he's kind of like, that really bothered him that, I was dating somebody, and my dad was born in 1930. And, my dad is Irish. And he was just like, me and your mom had you look a certain way, and then you go to Bama and find the blackest thing you could find. And he seriously thought I just went to go find somebody as black as I could because
like you're trying to be spiteful of him.
Exactly, because I was trying to be spiteful of him, and I was just like, no, he's a good dude. And then he was like, and then when he was a captain, it was like, okay, so that he's like, so he's in a fraternity, and his parents are, what his family like. He was really into that, and my mother was like, my mother is 17 years younger than my father, so she was like, that's how they were back then. Sure. That's how everything was back then. He just doesn't want you to go through all the things that me and your grandmother went through. And I'm like, but it's a long time from now.
Sure.
We don't do that now.
88 years old. She's gotten better, with age. She's like, she's just glad to be here. So, but then I don't know how old she was, but she was cantankerous and she was something. She had no problem letting you know she didn't like you. None whatsoever. So
yeah, I have a great aunt that's always been like that. She was born about 1902 and lived in D.C. and she was so color struck and pathetic.